Here.
Ron,
Here.
Helen,
Here.
Ken,
Yeah.
Jerry, Scott,
Yes.
Okay, the open meeting poster acts over there on the east wall. Approve the December 18th, 2023 meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
I'll second
Roll call.
Chuck,
Yes.
Ron,
it. Yeah.
Helen,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Jerry, Scott.
Yes.
Treasurer's report will be presented and filed for audit.
It's in your packet.
They all look good to you?
A couple questions on them, but,
Okay.
Oh, the treasurer's report?
oh, the treasurer's report, excuse me, no.
Okay. Next, acknowledge receipt of the library, Elkhorn Meadows Airport, HCED meeting minutes, and duplex financial report. That all look okay for you all?
On the duplex, the $150 they charge us, is that just maintenance?
It's their management fee.
Is that,
I think it's pretty reasonable. They scan the ads that come in, they keep track of, they take care of the rents, they take care of the, like if there's a problem in the building, getting a hold of electricians or whoever to take care of it. Basically, they're a building manager.
Okay. Number 6. Discuss approve a building permit for LVS LLC to put a slant roof on 108 North Main Street.
That's the dance academy.
Leo visited with, I was there, but Leo was calling about that. They're having problems with leaking, so they're wanting to go in and it's a flat roof. And, gotta do something different. They can't, tried sealing it 2 or 3 times. It's not working, so they wanna go to a slant roof. Or, I visited with him about going to Tellison's because at Tellison, we did that on the senior center and it stopped it. They put their same product on 2 of Don Goki's and it solved it, so I don't know what he's gonna do, but he was still looking at a slant roof the last I knew. So, I think it ought to go, we gotta do something for him.
Is there any reason not to have a slant roof there? Is there any reason not to?
Not to have it, cause it's
Yeah.
leaking, they can't get it to seal.
Well, I mean, is there any, the neighbors, the water going on?
No, I think he talked with Crotters and all them and got their input about it and everything for what he told me. He was hoping to be here tonight, he must have something going on, but, he did visit with there about it and said that he'd visited with them and they were good and we've gotta do something. You know. So it should not be a problem.
There's nothing in our ordinances that said we can't put a slant roof on something like that, is there?
Well, he's putting a slant roof on it. It's got a flat roof, he's going to a slant roof.
Yeah, but.
No, there's nothing in there, he's just letting you know he's gotta change it. He's changing the roof line, so he's
Changing the
gotta
roof line.
file for a permit.
He's changing the, he's changing the.
He's
roof
changing
line.
the pitch of the roof, so he has to file for a permit. And there's other people that have done it around town, there's other buildings that's been done. Bronze has been done. Theirs originally was a flat roof. Maryland's was originally a flat roof, it was redone. I think the one down at the end of the street there that the city has that stuff in, I believe it used to be a flat, I know it used to be pretty much a flat roof, but I'm not sure other than they did put that Tellison stuff on there and stuff like that. And we got it on the library, the old library has it. And and so does the senior center. So it works, but I think he's gonna go 10, I think. So I make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second it, I guess.
Okay, roll call.
Ron? Helen?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Jerry? Scott?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Okay, discussion, action of repair of crow's nest at rodeo grounds.
Oh, I guess that's me again. I got approached about working on the crow's nest out there, went out and looked at it, and it is a disaster right now. Not total, it's still very salvageable. But originally they wanted to put in one of them connexes up on the air and all this, and it looks great, that was a great idea, except it's very expensive. And I couldn't justify myself and getting behind it because it's just so expensive for only using it a couple, 3 days a year. So I got with Corby, that's
That's mine.
at the city, and with Josh, and I had Corby look at it. And you should have I don't know, did everybody have a copy of it?
I left.
They,
That was in the first packet.
he came up with a bill, a fee of the city doing it, the guys in the city doing this, of $872.37. That's using what we have, that's replacing some of the stuff that's broken, like the one side is busted out and this and that. We're gonna put on new tin, stuff like this, put on some deck screws, because the inside, the floor is just laying there, it's never been properly put in. We're gonna put a door on it, we'll have to make the door because it's an odd size hole. But for under $1,000, we can fix that thing back up. When you think about it, for how many years that's been up there, I've been here about 30-some years, and that's been here ever since I was there. I think for under $1,000, that's where we ought to go.
That comes out of their yearly budget, doesn't it, Ken? So,
I understand it's got some money in there for it. And that's way, way, way less than what a Connex would cost. Way less. Even if we had a bunch of free help to put the Connex up, you know, you're looking at, probably time you got it up there, 10,000. And then time you fix it up, another 10,000. You use 3 times a year.
That one sold for like we'd have about a total of 30.
Yeah, so, and it was ready to go, but I just think that this one here will serve us just fine. Just fine.
And that's the city guys doing the labor.
That's the city guys doing the labor. If that would change, which it could, come spring, we maybe could look at seeing how they are. I got a guy in mind that, Mike Freeman, maybe I can talk him into doing, or somebody that's got more time.
Well, I was thinking of the shop class up at school.
That'd be ideal. I don't know, the only thing I have there, Helen, is it's up in the air.
Yeah, I know it, I just.
And I'm wondering if
suggest-
they would liability. But if somebody wants to talk to them, I'd be 100% for them, because they gotta do it there, we can't take it down.
I think they're supposed to be doing our new concession stand for the baseball
Yeah.
field, and I don't know when they started that.
But anyway, I mean, we can look at this down the road again if you want to, but I just think that, I don't think we're gonna get a better deal than right here.
Jim?
When is the first rodeo?
It'd be around Memorial Time when they do the high school rodeo.
Okay.
We only had the high school rodeo for one day, and then we have the one at, Haydays.
Yeah.
Well, that's a Haydays one.
Yeah.
So we got 3 of them. 2 and 1. It's just hard to justify putting 20,000 or 30,000 into something that's that. And that one there's been up there since, like I said, I've been here 30 years, and it's been there when I was here.
Well, that's been there since my youngest sister.
So
Rodeo.
you know, this will take care of it.
50 years.
It's served as good, and let's just fix it back up. Some nice tin on the outside, fix the windows, fix some sheeting on it, put a door on it, cause that door is one of the problems. You got wind coming in all year long, the walls sit there and go like this. So,
Do we need a motion on that to approve that?
I think we do.
Right, but discuss
I guess I
approve.
make a motion to approve and fix what we have.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Helen?
Yes,
Ken?
Yes.
Jerry? Scott?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Ron?
Yeah. Okay, discussion regarding handicap parking in
Now
Atkinson.
that's me again. I noticed we took the handicap parking out across the street, I don't know why, whatever. But I'm a big advocate of it, I have a granddaughter that's in a wheelchair, full-time, has a handicap van. There's other people around town that use walkers, whatever. I wanna put a handicap down here at the corner of Main and Union, on this side of the street, just right down here on Union Street, on the other side of our clothing store, right on the corner. That way people can get out, get around, they can go to any one of the corners to get back to a business. I believe if you check the law, and what I've found out, being that we redid that sidewalk, it has to have handicap assessment, and it is. And that's the reason I wanna put a handicap van area down there where they can use that sidewalk, because it's already there, they're all ramps. They're all, up here we have two over here. So, anyway, I wanna put that in. Somebody against doing that?
Wasn't the reason this one out here was removed was because it did not meet specs?
It just was the way that the corner was, help me out here, guys, it had something to do with the way when that
This
corner.
one out here?
Yeah, the one across the
This
street.
one was banded because they wanted one over here.
Plus, it had something to do with when you redid the corner over there, it took away
Well, I
from some of
remember
it.
it was because they wanted to move it over to the, where they passed the food out. That's what I remember.
That was my recollection as well. was-
So we have some over here.
I don't know that you can have too many handicap parking spots. If you ask me.
I'm scratching my head, I can't imagine we'd abandoned one, I thought we just voted to put one in over there.
You had voted to abandon that one
Right.
and then put that one in over there.
Where Ken showed me down here, and I'm on streets and alleys with Ken, I don't know that we can have too many handicap parkings, I really, if people are capable of parking a block away and walking to get groceries or whatever versus somebody handicapped, so be it. I'd go for the handicap and people can exercise.
The only thing I can see, and the officer can maybe look into it, but being that I want it right on the corner, just as you come around the corner, that might be a problem with traffic, having something like that. I don't know if there's a rule against that or not. I know there's some rules about having parking spaces too close to the corners and this and that. I don't know if that would be a problem. I don't think it would be.
Handicap accessibility with our new sidewalks to the south, to Maryland's,
Yep.
to the north,
Across the
towards
street.
IGA, and then you get on the IGA side or Bronze. I mean, it's a no-brainer, it just is. Cater to our elderly, that's what we have, we're a community of, I mean, it's not a discussion, it makes sense.
What about on that corner of IGA going east?
Well, at this point, we're just worried about this spot, and then we'll worry from there. You can go from IGA east too, that first spot, yeah, that's awesome, but whatever.
Okay,
The reason I picked this one, I thought we'd have the least resistance from people, businesses. I felt that it fit the area the best because of all the, access to all the businesses. We got, where the businesses are located. This one here kind of fits that situation the best, is what I was thinking. And so that's the reason I went with it. Now, maybe down the road, we need to take a look at putting another one up here somewhere, because we do have several businesses up in this corner up here. And we're starting to get more. We got a gun shop going, we got other ones maybe going. But for now, I'd like to put that one in, and then this summer, we'll take a look at putting one in up here maybe.
The only Ron said, can we have too many?
No, we can't. We're,
Depends on how much you want to listen to people holler, because boy, they will holler at you when you get handicapped spots. You're taking up my parking spot.
I can't believe anybody would.
Anyway, that's where I'd like to go with one do it this spring, probably when we get the roads, everything dried up and painted in there.
Well, if we do that one, why don't we do one at the post office too, so people get in the post office?
You're on one.
Jimmy's right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the old, so many people can't get in there, that's where I see one really needs to be in there.
When you get on the south side of the post office, there's no curb,
No,
so, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, but one of the post offices down there.
Is that an
Yeah.
ordinance, Michael?
I think it will
I
be,
think
yeah.
it's an ordinance.
I was just looking at the code section on how to go about that.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
On that, okay. Yeah.
We can look at that before the next meeting or
Yep,
whatever they want.
yep.
Okay. So we done with the handicap thing?
We just have to drop the ordinances first.
Okay, that's fine. I wanted to get it in, want to get started.
Okay. 9, discussion regarding membership to Hope County Economic Development.
Well, I guess I brought that up, not intentionally, just that I had several, like I said, at last meeting, had several people come up to me and say, you don't realize the stuff we get out of the whole county economic development. And, anyway, yeah, one guy said, probably with the, oh geez, I can't remember what the leadership training, I guess Amanda might know that, leadership training.
Hometown Leadership Academy.
Yeah, Jim would know too, yeah. One guy that one of the employees, one of the largest amount of people in town said we get more than $8,000 out of that every year. So, I don't know. And I had 2 others from larger businesses come and say, we'd like to stay in it, so. All I got.
Well, that's, I understand that, that's great. We've got a young gal that's our own, has joined the crew, and I granted, she's out on maternity leave.
Mm-hmm.
But, you go through this, I go through this paper that's handed to me, and, you go through the business assessment, business setup assessment. Well, if she does her job, she should be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Business training, luncheons and learnings, well, I think a lot of this is busybody, I think we're paying O'Neill to have a Hope County ED, I really do, in my opinion.
Well, after, I'm gonna say, I touched on a little bit of that. I said, sometimes, and she told me absolutely no. She said, at meetings, there's more Atkinson people represented, so, but I've never been to a meeting, so,
Oh, business transition discussion.
yeah.
What the hell is that, other than sitting
I
around
know.
a room talking?
I
It
know.
sounds like creative literature is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Business survey, same difference. LB 840 assessment if needed, well,
Yeah.
if there's an LB 840 deal, our ED should handle that. Grants, research, well, our ED should do that. job, you know, 10 to 15K views per month. Well, you know, if it's on the web, it's there. Business listings, well, again, I mean, so I can go down this whole page of stuff, and if RED takes authority and does their job, I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't belong to it, but for 2 years, I've asked for a less of an assessment per person, per population. And I'm not saying we shouldn't belong, I'm not saying that.
Right.
And I'm not saying in 6 months, we shouldn't reevaluate it to see if they've done us any good. But, you know, I'm not here to be Mr. Negative, but my taxpayers
That's
are
what-
getting hit with a lot of money that is paying for people to, a bunch of busybody stuff, if you ask me. I mean, I don't wanna be that person, but
Yeah.
if I'm not, if I'm elected to this job to try to watch my bottom end, is this anything that RED shouldn't do? You know, I don't know, guys, I'm not,
I know,
Jerry's right, I'm
I know,
not,
I'm not trying to be,
no, I'm not
I'm not trying
either,
to twist
but
the tail or anything, I'm
I
just
don't
saying
see
what I was
anything
told.
on this whole paper that RED would take,
Yeah,
how do I say this? If they take initiative, I don't know, guys, I
Yeah,
really,
and then-
and young lady, I'm
Well,
not.
number one, you said the right word there, if.
Well,
Now, wait a minute, I let you speak, you said if. I haven't seen squat out of our program in 2 or 3 years or more. Show me what businesses have got that we've really gained. Ain't got nothing.
yeah,
We've done a lot of other things. I think we ought to get rid of our ED period and go strictly with O'Neill. Put that money in there and save it ourselves. Because they have the access, we had the access, but we gotta get out and do something. I hollered about not having something for the elderly people. We wanna go in there and make them fix their sidewalks and do all this stuff. But there's no money to help them. Why? Well, find out, well, we ain't done a housing study. We haven't got no grants. We haven't this, haven't, why? Because we haven't done, if we would've done our job, we would've had that.
If we don't have one, Ken, who does it?
O'Neill,
Who goes to O'Neill?
O'Neill,
Who goes to O'Neill?
what do you mean?
Well, how come they haven't done it in the past then?
We have a guy representative in O'Neill, got 2 of them sitting right there.
Well, I'm just saying, if it hasn't, we've had the whole county economic development, we've been a member.
Right.
How come it hasn't happened?
Because they relied on what we have here. I talked with her. Go visit with her.
I might be
Go
wrong
visit,
here.
wait a minute, go visit with her, Chuck, and see what she tells you. Because she has only been part of what we do here. They gotta ask for it. From what I understand, they told them that, hey, you need to do this housing study and this and that to get these grants. And nothing's been done.
She said over there,
I told Nancy and Shelley over and over that our housing study needed to be updated. I called Judy Peterson, I don't know how many times. She said we had too many already items on the list that we couldn't have any more projects. So that was why we were not able to. You can go through and you can ask those agencies. I tried working with Carla Kimball because she was new. Judy wouldn't even answer my phone calls anymore. She would only talk to Nancy. I said, if we don't do this housing study, we're
so
gonna
why
lose out.
wasn't we informed of that?
Because that was what the city clerks were supposed to. You guys weren't coming to me anymore, so.
Well, that's
That
it.
gal said over there, the last month that we talked about this, when we voted that night unanimously to give them 6 months to do whatever they're gonna do.
Yeah.
And she gave us all this, the same, he said, she said, we're meeting, we're going, whatever, and whatever, that's fine. And that's great, but we hired a new ED, and by my understanding, weeks later, our new ED had to call them and talk to them they didn't bother to call her and reach out to her.
That's not right.
I was told that by you, Shelley, that our gal
Shy
had to
reached
call
out to
them
Shelby.
before
But
she
then
called
they
us.
connected.
They connected,
Right.
yes. They did connect.
Connected, so what does that mean? Did they call us or did we call them?
I don't know who called who first or what the time
I think
gap
Shy
was.
reached out to Shelby
Right.
because
But if-
she's trying to get help too in the job.
Right.
And I understand that, but if she sat there and I'm saying that we voted to give them 6 months so we could get the transition, and maybe at the end of 6 months, we vote to stay, but our gal still had to call them before they had anything to do with us.
I wouldn't put it that way. It had
Well,
nothing to do with it.
did it happen that way or did that? I wanna know that. Did our gal
Shy
call them or
reached
did
out
they
to
call us?
Shelby, and I don't know if she emailed them or if she called them, but
So,
Shy
I'm
reached
sorry,
out to
Jim,
Shelby.
but, you know, it boils down to if we're paying you, we're your customer.
So,
And if our gal had to call them after we decided that maybe we're getting out, how important are we to stay in if they can't say, okay, we need to pat them on the back and call them, show them that initiative. But for 2 years, I've asked to lower our dues. In 2 years, that has not happened. You see what I'm saying?
Something I got a question about. When that was set up, you may remember this, Jim. Clear back in the day when we started this. Or here, we voted on it. It was set up, voted on by the public to do it. At that time, the ED department was a department. It was itself. It had nothing to do with Nancy at that time, Shelley or any of it. It's its own department, just like the police department is, the water department, it's its own. When did it become under the city clerk? When did she become in charge of it?
I think
Because I want to see it in the minutes where they voted on it, because it was voted in by the people to do it this way. So in order for it to be taken off of that, and the lawyer here can probably tell me if I'm right or wrong, but to be taken out of that context, it has to be voted on again. And I want to know where that was done at. Otherwise, it's its own department. She is not answerable to Shelley or anybody else.
I think that there's only a portion of it that, there's only like 40% of her time is supposed to be spent on ED.
Then the other 20, the other time she had to go home. Because there's no way we need 3 secretaries in the city of Atkinson. We have 2. That's what most towns have of our size. We do not need 3 people in there. If we got 3 people in there, again, then Ron's right, somebody's not doing their job.
I do not want to portray that I'm against belonging to Holt County ED. I do not want to portray that. I am just trying to establish that we have our own Holt County, or we have our own Atkinson ED. And I am 100% with keeping that. I think you can join that group, but if you have your own in our hometown and they do their job, that is beneficial to my taxpayers. I'm not saying that the assistance from Holt County wouldn't be beneficial for the right money, but I read this thing here, and I'm sorry, but it's a bunch of busybody. It just is a whole page of standard monarchy that is good, but our gal can do the same thing if put her mind to it. I don't wanna be the negative Nelly in this group.
I think,
I hear Jerry talking, I hear Ken talking, I hear Chuck talking. I do not hear Scott saying a word, I don't hear Helen saying a
I think
word.
Jim wants to say something.
Okay, go ahead, Jim, I'm sorry. I apologize, people, I'm done.
I think we should just give the
No, I think
Dale a
you got
shot
good
and see
point.
if
Everybody's
if it's
got their
different, then
opinion.
see what happens.
That's
Go
right.
ahead, Jim, I'm
Alright.
sorry.
Jim.
So-
I am totally sorry, people, I really
No,
am.
no, apologize.
I
Don't
have,
apologize.
I have the benefit of Atkinson taxpayers in heart. I'm willing to do whatever you guys want to do.
Okay, Jim needs to say something.
Alright, so back towards the beginning of his points that he was made. So we are researching maybe the reduced fee to Atkinson because you do have your own economic development. The two economic development districts that we've reached out to that have multiple communities, I guess they haven't had this brought up to in their instance, so we're still trying to reduce that. We gotta come up with some type of matrix. I mean, is it
I see
reduced by
that was discussed.
25%, 50%, 75%? We gotta
Okay.
come up with some type of matrix, so
That would be
I'm still
great.
we're working on that as of, that's what we found out this last week, so.
Okay.
So that's, and if you guys got a suggestion, we'll take that under consideration as well.
That's, to me, Jim, that's where the 6 months kinda, you know, the contract says we gotta give you 6 months.
Right.
And so we've given that, so now we need to kinda, you know, this reduced fee, I mean, I reiterate that I've asked for a couple of years now, but
Right.
nothing seems to change, so unless we,
Part of that.
it's a good thing. I do think we need to be involved in it, I'm not saying that, but my taxpayers that elected me, I gotta look for their bottom line, and I think we're paying for a lot of stuff that our gal could do too, I mean, that's all I'm
There's gonna be
saying.
a learning curve.
Well, yeah,
until she
I
gets up and
understand
going.
that, and I'm not trying to be that person, but
No.
it
What do
seems
you
like,
think is a fair price?
it seems like I'm always in that position.
What's a fair price? What would you like to pay?
I don't really know.
So
I've
you
asked
surely
for-
got an idea, what do you feel
Half.
would be paying them?
I
Half.
suggested
Half of it?
half like a
Half.
while ago.
We'll keep
So
doing
then-
some
so then-
research and come back.
After I
with
said that like
proposals.
half, it was like,
You have to do
yeah.
some
But what about their costs?
resolution or something.
Well,
Truthfully, Ken,
What about their costs? What about their, you know, they gotta go to meetings, they gotta pay their bills.
they go
They
to
gotta pay, they
meetings.
got employees that they gotta pay health insurance and all that. Them people want a raise. Inflation, everybody else, everybody in this room is paying more today than they did when we started this 10 years ago. And now you wanna cut it back to half? Really?
I'll tell you right now, I am worried about my taxpayers, and I'm not worried about their costs. If they can't manage on half of what we pay them, then that's their problem, not mine. I'm worried about my taxpayers, Ken. I'm not worried about their costs.
I am too.
They need to figure out what they need to charge and tell us that. And then we need to decide, do we wanna pay that or do we not? Bottom line, that's, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but I also know that I see where this thing is going. I see where this thing's going. We're gonna end up when did this start? 10 years ago? 15?
Polk County 20.
No, us. When we started, we were the first ones. We were on it before they were. When did we start this? 15, 20 years ago?
15, I would say easily.
What do we had? 4, 5 of them in there now? People in the office doing the
No.
job? No, right here in Atkinson.
4 or 5 in what office?
Lori, Llewellyn.
Doing the economic development of
In
ours.
O'Neill?
No, ours. I'm talking Atkinson. Right here, this room. We've had what, 5?
Oh,
In 10 years, 10,
EDs?
15 year ED operators?
Well, they come and go just like any other employee. I don't know what you mean by that.
That's it, they come and go. But I
Well-
think the one in O'Neill's been there quite a while.
Lori left because she got a better job.
I'm not saying why they left, I'm saying they're leaving us, so where's that put us? If she starts her paperwork today and gets started, and then she quits, now here comes the next gal, every time you train one of them people, that costs you a lot of money too. So I'm just saying that I still think we need to drop, I'm not saying drop out O'Neill, I'm saying drop out Atkinson. And put it all under O'Neill.
I do not agree with you on that.
Yeah, I just.
I wanna
think
keep
there's benefits
ours
to having
on.
our person here.
And I respect you for that.
No, I know, but then I wanna see something done.
I-
Not just
and
change,
you know what,
not just
Ken?
change hands every month or two.
You know what, Ken? I appreciate your opinion. I enjoy you and I love you to pieces.
Jim has something to.
Okay, so I think Helen had a question
Okay.
about, what.
What's your procedure for, do
Well,
you even have
see,
one?
there's an interlocal agreement that all the communities signed way back when we did this, and was based on the population of each community of what they paid in. So if we come up with some type of a matrix, of reducing a community's what they pay in, we're gonna have to go back and amend that interlocal agreement, so it's not just gonna, we come back with a proposal, whatever that percentage is, there's gonna be more behind the scenes stuff than.
And I fully understand.
Can
No.
you get that done in 6 months?
Well, they haven't got it done in
I
2
don't know.
years.
I don't know, well,
It's on there, that was in December meeting or November, right?
This paper I got in front of me, all you college people, go through it. Is there anything on that whole page that RED
We don't have.
can't do it?
Yeah.
I
I
got
think she
my
handed
pamphlet,
it
you
out the
should have
last
got it.
time. It wasn't in your packet, it was probably in your last.
Oh, I handed that out when
Yeah.
Helen was gone.
Oh.
I think
You
I
mean
stuck
you're
it in
gonna
your
tell
book
me
bag.
I kept track of something? Holy crap!
Helen, I think I stuck yours in your
Here,
book. somewhere.
read, Helen, read that. Is there anything in there that our gal can't do? I mean, I'm not trying to be negative Nelly here, people, I really not.
it's front and back.
Holt County ED is great, I am 100% behind them. But does our taxpayers need to pay double for, you know what I'm saying?
When,
You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Not really.
I don't either.
You said you're not being named.
That's a
whatever,
pretty good
so-
answer from a politician, you know?
Yeah, I try hard.
It's like a broken record. Okay,
So what record are you breaking?
I don't know. So,
What is this?
I would like to see us give our new ED at least a month or so here. We've got time before the 6-month deadline comes up. And let's get her opinion on this.
I
I
respect,
agree with you.
I respect Jerry.
I'm just taking, firing back what was fired.
I
at you guys.
respect that, I really do, Jerry. I mean, I'm not,
Yeah.
if it's a hospital and Mitchell equipment, I understand that.
And
I do.
Yeah.
And I respect that, but I think we need conversation
Oh,
to
good, yeah.
benefit our taxpayers. I'm
For
not
sure.
saying I'm against anything. And if everybody votes to stay in it, I'm with them. I really am, but
Yeah,
Did they give you any specifics of their benefits?
she gave me a printed out, yeah. That
What
might
they
be-
actually,
just
this?
handed that out.
Yeah, I talked to her
No,
about,
I mean the guy that said we got $8,000 worth of,
the leadership, I don't know what it's called.
Leadership Institute.
The Leadership Institute, which basically trains people to move up the ladder at their
Leadership
job.
skills.
Is that in a sense what,
Mhm.
and, which is, and then there's, yeah, I don't.
That's it?
That was the.
that's it?
Jobs.
Yeah, this is a
jobs
5-minute
posting.
conversation with him, and that's one thing he said. He said, for like, well, it is the hospital, and the job search thing is huge through Hope County with that. And then he said, I'll just say, the leadership class, we get more out of that every year than you guys are paying for it, in my eyes. I don't know, I've never been to one other than that.
they get more out of it that we're paying for.
Right,
Yeah,
But-
They're
Yeah.
paying for it too, that's their
Yeah,
tax
it's
money.
tuition.
Yeah.
yeah.
So they're paying for it.
And
Yeah.
something went on Who was at the sale barn 2 or 3 years ago doing something? Was that through the whole county? I don't even remember what that was. I don't even know who brought that up to me. It wasn't my daughter. She works there.
I just find it hard to believe
Yeah.
that if we got, I mean, there ain't anything on here that,
I know. That's,
I mean, it's a bunch of,
and here I am trying to explain it, and I don't.
I know, Jerry, and God bless you. I mean, I'm not
If
upset, I'm not trying to argue.
I agree,
I'm
I
just
know.
trying to, our taxpayers
Yeah.
are getting the shit kicked out of them. Pardon my French, Cameron.
How many taxpayers complain to you that it's too high?
I have not had anybody complain to me that it's too high, and I have had zero complain to me because we're looking at not belonging to it, seriously. But maybe it's out in the open that I'm not a pro staying with them. I take that back. I want them to prove to me that our taxpayers should stay with Whole County ED.
Yeah.
Because I think our ED should handle, I mean, let's look at this. Business setup assessment. Now, what the hell does that mean? Why can't our person handle that? Business training, lunch and learns. Business transition discussion. Business survey. LB 840 assessment as needed. Grant research into applications, federal and state program. Now you tell me how our ED in one day can't handle all that. I mean, what are we paying $8,000 for?
Really in one day, Ron?
Yeah, there's no way.
Really?
Well, look at all that. I mean, it's a
Flip up on
bunch
the
of,
back of the page.
I mean, yeah, okay,
but
let's go to the back
let's
page.
go to the bottom.
Go to the
So-
bottom. Shelby Reagan.
All right,
Okay, no.
so each
Youth
community.
Future Readings, workshop, 2-year college, 4-year program, enrichment program survey, youth and youth wants.
So those are just,
It's all a bunch of discussions,
All right.
busybody, yakety yak yak.
Jim.
Go ahead, Jim, I'm sorry.
So,
I apologize.
all right. So each community might have a project that they need help with. O'Neill was a housing deal, Stewart's was a housing deal. What's Atkinson? What one project or 2 projects or 5 projects do you guys need help at? We can't read your minds what you want done, what you want help with.
So with that being said,
Mhm.
if we have a young gal in here that's willing to step up and do that,
Yeah.
why are we paying full price for your services?
If
when
she can,
she's
if she
supposed
can
to-
do all that.
Well, give her time. I
Well,
mean,
Okay, let's give her a chance.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
And I just wanna add one thing, this is not as an attorney, but more as a, well, a city attorney, but more as a citizen and, you know, business owner. To answer your question, Ron, I think of what can Holt County do that our personal can't? I mean, right now, at least, our person can't get 10 to 15,000 eyeballs on a job posting board.
If she
And
puts it on the internet, why can't she?
Because there's just not gonna be that kind of traffic right away.
If she posted on Atkinson website, which is Holt County, and they posted on a Holt County website, why wouldn't the internet
I mean, I could
don't
like,
understand
like
that.
I could set up a website right now, but I'm not gonna, like, that talks about sports, but I'm not gonna get as many hits every day as ESPN.com has, right? Cause they haven't established, you know, the way that works, you know, it's gonna, when you Google search something, it's got algorithms that are gonna shift you to, you know, sites that are established and the most highly trafficked ones. And so, I mean, it's just, that to me would be a huge, you know, benefit. And, you know, listings for businesses that don't have their own websites or
yeah.
things of that nature, I think is
Yeah.
huge.
I mean, our recent hire, Mike Peterson, was the media person at O'Neill Publics. So he's come on, and all of the views on all of that, the Monday minutes, all of that, it was just skyrocketed. So people are going to Holt County Economic Development side. And, you know, he's had classes for business that need to get their social media hits up. So, I mean,
that in my mind is, I guess to answer your question, one of the things that, you know, that organization can do that our in-house person probably can't.
The other thing, she's gonna be gone an awful lot, you realize that.
What's that?
She's gonna be gone a lot too.
Who's that?
If you want this lady to do what they do, she's gonna be gone an awful lot. Because there's meetings that they have to attend to get these grants and stuff, like in Lincoln, and go to the whole county meetings and all that. She's gonna have to go to them. That's what they're doing for your $8,000. They're attending them meetings.
I'll have to see that to happen before.
Well,
I think.
they talk about it right here, Ron. Read your paper.
Show me.
And it says.
Show me, which
yeah,
one is it? Which one is it?
It says
Ken?
attended, county supervisor,
Attended.
attended whole county, attended village meetings, and so on.
Village
She's got to
meeting.
do that.
Yeah, I understand that, but
I
no,
said she'll be
I don't
gone a lot.
agree with you there at all, Ken, I really
She's
don't.
gonna be gone a lot.
I think,
not gonna
I
be
don't
in
think
here.
so, I don't think so. Not in my opinion, she's not.
Well, but see, you're gonna holler about her being gone, where in the hell ain't she here? She's out spending money, gas money.
I don't agree with that, I think it's a lot of busybody work, I don't agree.
How long
I'm
till,
sorry.
how many more,
Shy is back tomorrow.
but I mean,
Woo!
Good.
our, when is our
God
6
bless
months
her.
up with the whole county economic development?
And I mean, guys, I'm not,
Well, she's coming back tomorrow, let's give her.
I'm willing to do whatever you guys want to do.
Because Shelby's due February 1, so she's gonna be on maternity leave.
Okay, well, Shy comes back tomorrow.
By God, you better be ready.
Okay,
So we have another month at least.
yep.
She's
We
due
got 6
February 1.
months.
Pardon me?
She's
February
due February 1st.
Oh, that's right, yes.
He's having another one?
No,
No,
Shelby.
Shelby.
Josh, I gotta explain to you 9 months is 9
No,
months.
never mind.
Can we just
I'll bet
Let's
she'd
go to
kill
number
you
10.
right now if you said that.
Can you
ask
at least
for
say to
Shy?
them that
Can we give
economic
her a
development
couple
doesn't
months?
happen
I mean,
in
she's
Oh.
she's got
People do not think there's a time frame on anything. Jim, please, don't, no.
Okay.
I'm not, no. This is just question, discussion. Move forward.
Okay, we'll move forward with number 10. This will be wrong too. Discussion regarding snow removal in alleys.
This ain't wrong, this is just common sense, I mean. The whole thing this brought up was, is for 3 years, we told Subway, don't put your parking lot snow in the alley. And they put it in the alley, and I raised Cain, and I was informed that there's no, in our ordinance, it does not say you can't throw snow in the alley. But common sense says you don't plug a city alley. So instead of arguing with the blonde in the office, I said, put it on the agenda, and, I mean, Jesus, common
mean the
sense,
city-
people.
You mean the city clerk?
Blonde in the office, you take it from there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, we did get the gas stub out of the way finally.
that brought that up too.
Finally.
I said, we got the stub out of the alley, and now we're putting snow in the alley. And I'm informed that the ordinance says you can't park in an alley, which we all know that that's happening.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that's not being corrected.
We'll get to that, all right?
What, 10 years from now?
No.
Yeah, bullshit.
I've already got on top of it.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it, Jimmy.
Do I need to come watch wrestling?
But anyway.
The one thing that I wanna bring up on this is snow removal in the alleys, when we get a big storm like this. Rather than the city doing it, sometimes guys bring their big, huge tractors into town with the blades wider than the alleys. I think that we need to have some kind of a, you know, the city guys kinda know how things are, and girls, cities. But sometimes the big tractors come in, they're just trying to help the city out, but they're actually mowing over phone boxes and gas.
Well, I didn't know that they were going down the alley.
Sometimes, it doesn't happen very often, but in some places.
I give Jimmy crap, but that's just what it is, it's
Yeah.
crap. But
But I think for the
there
most
is a
part,
meaning
the-
behind the crap, don't
this-
forget it.
Well, if there's an open
But-
place, they put it on your lawn anyway.
But I brought it up to Shelley about, tell them that not to be plugging the alley, pile it on your own gas.
I think they hauled it away this time, didn't they?
Well,
So
they have been real good about
yeah,
it
they did,
since,
cause I seen some action over there.
but
anyway,
the way the ordinance reads,
A vehicle can't plug the alley.
you can't park a vehicle or a camper in the alley, but you can put your snow in the alley. Now, common sense and safety
Yeah.
should prevail over stupidity. So, I said, put it on the agenda, so I'm done. You guys decide.
It's not just.
Plug the alley, don't plug the alley, I don't care.
We had a lot of snow this year, this is tough.
There's still no ordinance, there's still no right to
Well-
plug in a goddamn alley. I
But
don't
we
know
have
what-
residentials putting their snow in the alley, and we've got a couple
bank.
other I mean,
Well-
I seen the
Well,
city
he
push
never
snow
gets
out on the
back.
highway.
What's all this?
I got a thing, I talked to the guy from Subway, trying to work out a deal. Talked to him, he's gonna come to the meeting tonight. He wants to put up a snow fence there, it'll help keep that snow off there and push the snow right up against his fence, and it'll still, and that way it's not over in the alley.
To the west side of it?
Yes.
probably? Yeah. I think,
And
If I was the guy at Subway, I'd pile that in the northwest corner of my parking lot to keep everybody from cutting through there to get out of the alley and not stay on the alley, but whatever, I'm just, you should not,
let me see this.
you should not pile your snow in the alley due to safety, due to common sense, but
How do you get a fire truck down the alley if there's
if
snow?
you talk to the fire marshal or fire chief, he'd come in court if you plug it in.
Okay, now we getting in the snow deal. There's a lot of hydrants that it's covered with snow. Who's responsible for taking them out?
That's also an ordinance, and we talked to the people, and they have dug out that they put the snow in front of it.
there was one that cleared their parking lot, put the snow on the fire hydrant. We called them, and they got it
Yeah,
taken
well, I
care
got
of
that
right away.
phone call and I called,
I called out to Agland.
I got the phone call to call lights.
Oh, no, I got the one for Agland.
Then they pile that, when they push the
I mean,
corners up.
This shouldn't even be on the
No.
agenda, people, I mean,
Need to pile snow away from the
I think the
curbs.
chief
So
of
people,
police
if
needs to
Pearson
call
wants to
and-
scoop their sidewalk,
I
you
think,
don't have a big pile of 5 foot of crap where you have to dig through it. Why can't, when they push them corners up, why can't they move it towards the, away from it if there's a sidewalk?
why
If
can't?
there's a sidewalk, why can't they?
Why
I
can't
cleaned
they?
mine out and I put, you see all the snow on my property on my street? I bring in our
You
big
don't have to
cat.
block, you ought to have a lot of snow.
Well, I like to block snow so it quit blowing into the front of my garage.
I think the chief of police needs to go and tell them people to stop doing that. That's what I think.
I don't mind piling snow, I just stop the snow from blowing in front of my house. Every time it blows, I gotta drift.
Quiet.
And if I got a sidewalk, and if I wanna scoop it out or blow it, you got all that snow piled up over it.
Anything to say?
No,
Come on, Asher.
Well, I do have something, since we're on the camper deal. The camper deal.
Camper.
The camper.
Oh,
See, the camper right here, see? So not only do we have a camper blocking the alley, they put a swimming pool on it, they planted trees on that property, that's all gotta be removed.
That's a sewer main that goes through that alley.
So, the
So
pool's
why
full of
isn't the
ice.
chief of police doing something about that?
I just got started on this, because nobody can figure out what they want for ordinances. We said we're gonna start.
I don't know that
and take
anybody
complaints.
don't. It's on, if it's in the red book, it's a city ordinance, it's a city law. You don't comply to an ordinance
Down by Pat.
because you're disagreeing with it. You apply to it and then you change it if you want to, but it should be maintained if it's in the ordinance book, in my opinion.
so you got, what was you gonna say, James?
Well, like I said, you know, I just found out about this. I walked the alley, I took photos of it, of everything. The pool's full of water, or ice right now. It's gonna have to be, nothing till spring, you can't do anything, pulling the trees out. But here's my thing. I've only been here for 3 months as the chief of police. I'm trying. This shit's been going on for 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do what I can do. I mean, the world's not gonna change overnight.
And how many months ago did I bring that to your attention, Jim?
You just said a camper. You never specifically said where it was.
Yeah, when you had Baker go around that, what, 2 months ago? This is he said, she said, Jim, I'm sorry.
No, I got the list
Yeah,
of
no.
all of them, but a lot of the ordinances.
I'm gonna shoot you straight, kiddo.
So,
I'm with you in front of you and behind you, I'm with you. But, yeah. If it's if the ordinance is in that red book, either you enforce it or we get it the hell off of the red book. One or the other. And we don't need people complaining or saying anything. To me, that's the laws of the city until it's off that red book, and that's your job. And unless you're told, I'm informed that you are hired by the mayor, and I can't do nothing about it unless the mayor tells you you can't do something, then you tell us that the mayor told you that, and then we'll adjust accordingly, but,
Ron,
So-
I'm gonna intervene just a teeny bit here.
you're 100%.
We've had a lot of changes here in the last 6 months. A lot of things went on. Why do we think we hire new people and the crap that is built up for the last 30 years needs to be changed in 4 months?
It's not,
Yes,
but
it is.
it needs to
That's what
be,
you're asking.
it needs to be brought to everybody's attention, and
Well,
This-
if you,
this
if
is
you wanna
the-
go through that red book and enforce every ordinance in there, you're gonna have every person
How
in
many
this town
months?
breathing down
Go-
your neck.
go back in the last 6 months minutes, and how many times have we talked about ordinances? And
Every month, Ron,
what's that?
every month we've got.
Bingo, that's what I'm getting at, so, you know,
We'll just go to it. Fend for yourself, town.
what's that?
Fend for yourself, no rules.
That was just my opinion.
It's
but
been,
I know there's places where you can't
And-
do stuff.
Okay,
I'm giving Jimmy crap, but I just feel like we gotta talk about this stuff, people. Jim, I think the world, you're doing a good job.
okay. We won't put, yeah, okay. Let's go to number 12.
I need to get the hell out of here. This
No,
is
but
great.
the snow
Discussion.
removal plan,
Huh?
snow removal plan, okay,
Oh, yeah.
the city of Atkinson does have, this is mine. Okay, the city of Atkinson does have a snow removal plan. It has, the priority areas that are supposed to be hit. But this plan is, I think this was actually maybe typed and not on the computer. So I think it's kind of old. Some of the stuff, like the charging for okay, so the front end loader is like $50 per hour. I really think we need to update this. I don't know if you wanna work with Gary with it, with streets and alleys. I don't know who wants to work this plan.
You put Gary in charge of it, it'll never happen.
This
I'm
is
on
okay.
a roll, I might as well stand everybody's shit.
Help me out here, what's the $50 an hour if we have to?
Clean out
Okay.
the alley or whatever.
Okay.
They
I
pile a bunch of
lost-
snow.
I lost that charge, but.
Well, I got price on it. I lost my
Why is
driver's
it pay
Hold
order?
on, too many voices all at once, what?
Is that what we're charging to do?
That's what we could charge. Like when we talked about going up and cleaning that subway alley, okay? Or if somebody says, can you come up and clear, I don't know, the snow you pushed in the driveway, that's our
Kinda
fee.
like the mower, kinda like mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
If we have to do something, we can charge $100 an hour. This is the same thing.
Just needs to
We
be
have to use our
updated.
equipment for your
It just
person,
needs to be
you
updated.
do something, we get to charge it back charge it to you at this rate. That's what that is all about.
But even to look over the priority streets, the second priority, just to make sure that it's still
I don't think this red one going up from State onto Hill Street for 2 blocks, I think that was Dr. Ramsey's.
Maybe. That's what I said, this needs to be updated.
Uh-huh.
That's all I'm asking, is that we get it updated, so that,
I think
So
it was
we need to form a committee to look at this and
But I was
make some decisions.
I don't know if you wanna look at it individually and then come back collectively, I don't know what you wanna
Hey,
do.
gonna do it anyway.
I just would like to see it updated.
Yeah.
Josh will put a group together and I'm not on it.
Figure out which are the priority streets and
Yeah.
figure out what the current rate is for equipment.
And just to read through it and make sure that it's all still relevant information. I mean, that's, I'm sorry, I just think that, I've seen a lot of this on the listserv, they're asking for cities to update their snow removal plans.
You got 2 people.
Throw it away.
Yeah, that's true.
That's, I mean, they're the ones.
But I think it's way.
I agree.
Just make it a group
Said
there.
police on there.
I don't think it is. I think it says.
Now, I got a question also, when we get done with that, I got on-street
This is
sewer.
the one I was
And
told.
past me,
You know, they try to
Oh.
open the streets.
It's
with
good,
dumpsters.
It don't matter.
it's good.
Well, that
Or
would
won't
be
follow
this
anything.
street. We're using.
That's all I
Yeah,
have.
Starts calling there.
Yep, next one over.
Starts calling what it is.
Yeah, but I think that might have been Dr. Green.
Okay.
But
Even
Five
with, this must have been
where's
worse
the
than
fire?
firewall was there too, cause we're working right here.
Back in.
Oh, yeah. Well, and this.
We don't have any cops right now that live in town, but
I'm thinking this
you know, you
should
got
be one, too.
Atkinson Clinic
We're all there going down the
physicians.
street, run the hospital.
It used
Yeah.
to say
They've got
police
these,
department.
this.
Yeah, they used to open the streets
Well,
past the cop's house.
Yeah,
right, past the cops
I
out,
like that when Dave.
go up
lived next
behind
to
the
me.
rig, drag it back. It's not on there,
But that's what I mean, this needs to be,
right.
you need to
But
come,
you can put whatever you want on there because Gary won't follow it anyway. He does what he wants to do when he wants to do it.
And maybe it's for the next Gary that you
Well, okay.
Well, we just need to come up with a plan.
What do you wanna do, Josh?
We'll come up with a plan. Yeah, it's gotta be reviewed, cause that thing's so old.
Yeah.
that's all I'm
That's
asking.
So who you want to
obsolete.
review it? You gonna do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
Those rates need to be about tripled, so. Okay.
Now, also, I got asked today by Corby, and I don't have problems, but I told him I'd ask you guys tonight. He'd like to, when he plows snow on the streets with the truck, he'd like to go in reverse. In other words, put the driver's side against the curb, which is going backwards against your
So you
traffic
can see.
lane. Now, I know the reason why, like he said, you can get next to the curb without banging the curb versus trying to mix the distance. So it makes sense, and I don't have a problem with it personally, but I do know that sometimes, like the county, they cannot go backwards on the road or anything because of insurance purposes. So I said, well, I'd ask you guys tonight and get back to you tomorrow, is it okay if he does that? Or would you rather stick the way we're doing it now for, I don't see nothing wrong with it. If you can't see a goddamn truck in front of you, in a country situation of going over hills, here, you're,
I gotta say something on that. When I worked for the city years ago, I was doing that in front of the Catholic Church. And a certain individual chewed my butt and ended up at the city council meeting and said I was on the wrong side of the street,
I think
going the wrong
we
way.
that.
So I don't know if there was anything discussed back then, but yeah,
Should we check with our league, liability insurance?
I suppose
just to
that'd be
make
good.
sure?
Like Ken says, if there's anything
Well, and
against it, it makes sense, but
Then too, if we let the people know that we're gonna change the way they're doing it,
Only
then
about
they
half the
might not
people pay
call
attention to
it
that.
a complaint. No, I mean,
Yeah.
put a little notice, we're changing the
well, like
way
I said,
we're
there's
doing it.
a lot of it's done at
Right.
5 in the morning. He does most of his stuff at 4 or 5 in the morning. There's only a handful of people out driving around then anyway.
Ken and Helen are right. When I talked to Ken earlier today, you know, if it helps our guys not to bounce off the curbs and everything, that's great. If it's according to our legal beagles on insurance, like Helen says, that, you know, I see nothing but a win-win thing. It just boils down to what our insurance people say.
Yep.
You know, if it helps our guys out, great.
Jim has something.
So like last year in the winter time, when you were working on the street, you put the little cones or something at the end of the street so people wouldn't drive.
Uh-huh.
So are you guys still doing that? If you put the cones up, people shouldn't drive through the cones. And you
I
can
did
go
mention
on.
that to John
You can-
Vogel about, you know, would it help if we block the whole block off out there
It
clean?
should be
John says
minimized.
they'll drive in there.
Traffic.
Yeah.
But he's right.
Yeah, cause I remember they
100% right.
built that cause people were wedging in.
So if we just check in with our liability insurance and see what they have to say about it, go from there.
Okay, we'll check with that. 12, discuss approved sponsorship of Cowboy 200.
Okay, so this one is mine. So the Cowboy 200 is the foot race from Norfolk to Valentine. They come through Atkinson. Atkinson has been kind of like the midway point. People can join the race here. Can they finish it here too? I can't remember. No. So we're like the midpoint. I think it's really good for our community. Instead of paying a fee to them, what they ask us to do is just let them use the community center. I think it's an overnight for 2 days, like a Saturday, Sunday, and then they're out. So we just let them rent the community center for the 2 days and we just don't charge them. But I wanna make sure that that's okay with you guys. I do think it's good for the community. Their families come in, they have people follow them, you know.
Didn't the bike thing do that? Remember when the bike,
I think
a
so.
whole bunch of tents were out there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only thing
They
is
use
they're
the
gonna be
city.
very upset there's not a brewery anymore.
But, to get the
Maybe we
community
should
center
start
for
it,
how many
Bill.
people you gotta bring to town. I mean, there's other, I'm one of them. We got a gun show, we bring a hell of a lot of people to this
Yes, you
community.
do.
I gotta pay to use it. I pay a lot of money out to use it. And so do other organizations. They use it for the craft fair. They gotta pay. Everybody else has to pay.
Yeah.
Why do these guys get off free? No, I'm not, I'm saying they gotta pay. They can use the park house, or they can get a sponsor to pay for their use of the community center. If they could do that, you know, maybe the radio station, maybe.
So why we got that deal with them is because then our community was advertised for free, not only on their website, but on all the bags, t-shirts. So we got free advertisement as the city of Atkinson as a trade. So we looked at it, I guess, when Nancy and I started that project, that we weren't getting more out of it than it was for the cost of them to pay to use it.
Well, I said, how many you gotta have? We bring in about 400 and some people a day for 2 days, plus our dealers, so that's another 500. So, do we get the hauled in for free or a cut
How
rate?
much is it to rent?
I mean, I bring a lot of people in, they'll tell you, go talk to Maryland, go talk to the first stops. You can't do this, you can't start letting people have it for free. Where do you stop it at? Now, they can get a sponsor to pay, they only gotta have the small room at the most. They can get a sponsor to sponsor that. There's all kind of businesses that'll do it, they just ask.
So then is Atkinson not interested in sponsoring, being a sponsor of the Cowboy 200 at all? Because that's basically what this is, it's just a trade. So instead of us paying the $250 or $500, I think it was $500 to get our name on everything, wasn't it? I think I paid that the first year I was
You
here.
can go through and find I have a
So
whole
what's,
folder.
what's the charge for the small room?
3.
Well, for the small room, I think it's $75. And
They
then
actually use the entire, I've been at each event, they use the entire place, it's a resting area. The small room is where people can go and sleep on their cots and it's all dark. They use the kitchen because they're making these people food that you can only have certain food when you are running that far. I mean, whether it's eggs or broth, and things aren't gonna be open at 3 a.m. when they're finally getting to Atkinson. I'm just saying that it was a trade because we were advertised
it's a trade.
nationwide. And so we weren't getting it for free is how Nancy and I looked at. We were getting
Something for.
a discount on us to have our name on all of these
Otherwise
different
it's
banners,
$500.
t-shirts,
Otherwise, I
logos.
think the
Yeah.
lowest sponsor, that's why.
There would be a folder in the economic stuff
I
that's
think it
just
said
called,
1,200 platinum.
yeah.
That
Bronze
features your name on
sponsor is
it.
$250 cash or equivalent discount service, and I think that's what it is to rent the entire community center. So you get a logo with a link to your business website or social media page on our website, inclusion in social media, sponsor shout outs on the Facebook group, logo and runner's manual. I
Well,
guess,
take a vote. I'm the only one against it. You got 5-1, you'll get what you want.
I don't, I just wanna know so that I can give this guy
What's
an
the
answer.
rent on the small room and community?
$75 for the kitchen, $75 for the small room.
What about the big room?
It's in the paper, it's,
So it'd be 300.
If you go on the website, Shelley.
it cost me
the
$750
prices are
to rent the thing for the whole weekend, I know that.
Cost what?
$750
So 375
a day.
a day. And how much is it if you sponsor at 500? Or is that what you paid last time you said?
I think I paid $500 sponsorship the first time I paid them, and
It's
then the
just for
second
one
time
day?
we did
One
that.
day?
One day?
It lasted about a day and a half.
They come in like on, I think they come in like on Saturday and they're out on Sunday.
So it's just one day?
Yeah.
Wait, one.
Yeah, like if they're gonna put us on the website and everything, that takes a gold sponsor, looks like. Well, silver will get it too, I guess.
What sponsorship, what one of them levels do we get for letting them use that?
That he didn't tell me.
Gold requires a donation of 1,000 or equivalent discount in services. Hold on here, let's see here. Looks like for
Kinda looks like you
Sil-
get maybe the silver.
Silver is linked to your business website or social media page on our website. Inclusion in social media sponsor shoutouts and Facebook groups. Access to provide promotional materials for swag bags and runners. Must have in hand 2 weeks before race. Logo and runner's manual. A free race shirt. Logo on race shirt.
It's completely up to you guys. I mean, he
Sounds-
asked me.
Sounds like to me it's a bunch of busybody bullshit again. What is our charge on the community center that they're asking to use for a basic 24 hours?
Yep.
What is that charge for the whole thing?
375.
370.
I'll give $100 out of my pocket towards this. So now we're down to 375 down to 275. Is there anybody else who step up?
Give you,
Okay,
There.
we got it handled.
I'll put 200.
Jerry and Scott and I will pay the rent on the place and advertise, okay?
That'll work.
Bottom line.
Thank you.
But Ken is right. He really,
Thank
gonna
you.
charge one, you charge the rest.
Perfect.
Do we need a
The
motion on
council's-
that, or
Would it,
is it just a promotional thing?
I don't need no.
Take it out of our wages.
Are you actually sponsoring it though? I mean, that's the
No.
question.
I don't think so, I think it's just a
No.
midway point where they're stopping.
If Atkinson can get any PR on it,
Yeah.
take it, I don't care.
They do
I'm not
get you
sure
some
how to do
PR on the
that,
radio. Because there's two groups, they start in Northport and they start here. And they tell that.
When's it come through?
Tickle pink to get,
September sometime.
Oh, so it'll be nice.
Oh, yeah.
good deal.
Okay.
Jerry, thank
Ron?
you.
Yeah, we'll
What's
take
your
it out of
name?
our paycheck.
George, Frank,
Can't
Scott.
do that.
Grant, buy the brewery and open that back.
Yeah. Come on, Grant, step up.
Number 13,
Let's do it.
employee appreciation dinner will be held Saturday, January 20th at the Flatiron.
that's just a reminder that if you haven't gotten with Cheryl to let her know if you're gonna be there or not be there, please do that so that we got an accurate count for the Flatiron.
Okay. Approved delinquent utility reports.
But I think it was down again, ain't it?
And she's
Oh,
gotten
it's up
more
there
in
from
since
last
that
month.
report was printed.
It's up to 14 something. I make a motion to approve it.
Just a second. Okay,
Need a second?
I got it,
Oh.
Helen. Ken,
Yeah,
Jerry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Chuck,
Yes.
Ron, And Helen,
Yes.
Discussion approval on request of reimbursement of last year's electricity paid by the High School Rodeo Association.
so Jack is saying that it's not in their lease, that they don't need, that they pay the electricity on the rodeo grounds out there. It's always been in the High School Rodeo Association's name, so they've just always paid it out of their account. He's taken over the High School Rodeo Association, noticed that that money came out of the account last year, and would like the city to reimburse the High School Rodeo Association for that electricity usage.
How much is it?
$400 and some odd dollars. I think you guys got the,
He sat in here how many months ago and said there was no high school rodeo association. They disbanded, there was no involvement, they want nothing to do with the rodeo grounds, and then all of a sudden now they got a checking account.
they've switched the electricity over going forward. So I am now paying, we pay once a year for that, so they pay you for any additional usage over what you, so like you prepay for it. It's, and, so that's been switched over to us, so we're paying it going forward, but he's wanting the money from last year. I'm a little scared you're gonna open that can of worms there, because then it's never been in the lease that we pay the electricity, so then how many
It
other
is
years?
though, I mean, it
I think we always
provides,
paid
it
for
provides that the, you know, the tenant's obligations are to pay all utilities for the period the tenant uses the property.
Oh, he said for what they use the property.
So they lease it for a month every year.
Yeah.
So, you know, they would be responsible for 1/12 of the,
That's what I was gonna say,
It's like
that rodeo don't happen
$32
out there every week, yeah.
right.
So
So,
take that bill, divide it by 12.
unless he's already done that, I don't know, but.
No, he wanted the full amount.
Yeah, so it's, the lease provides that the tenant's obligations are to pay all utilities for the period they use the property.
Yeah, because people go out there and practice at night, you don't know who they are,
Yeah.
you know.
But, I mean, that's what I was trying to get at, you know, what's the difference between being out there with a horse and it is a kid playing at the, or some kid falls into the river over there at the, you know, are we responsible for that?
Liability wise.
Yeah. You know, if you had a kid out there at that,
We went through that all.
Yeah, we
talking
did,
about
didn't we?
liability, and that's, yeah, that's all covered under the
Yeah.
policy, but.
And then he said that he wants to get on the agenda, it'll probably be this next month, and it's something for you all to think of as councilmen, that they want to change that lease so that they only have it's like the so it's like the community center. They rent it for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I think he said they thought a reasonable price for that was $150 or something like that.
For Friday and Saturday and Sunday, at the community center, how much is that?
That would be
36,
I
9,
told you, we pay over $750
$12.50.
for 2 days. So,
I mean, that's, so I want you to think
That's
about what you
Fuel for
feel,
the future.
what you
They don't-
feel is
They don't pay anything right now.
no,
$1 a year.
but they don't want it.
Dollar a
They,
month.
now they don't want any of the upkeep, they don't want any of they said it's the city's responsibility to take care of the rodeo grounds, because if they want it, they think it should be treated as it is the community center or the park or Mill Race
Okay.
Park, okay?
okay,
What's the rent on the community center?
then
I know,
you better
that's
come in
what
and
I'm
discuss
getting
it.
But I
at,
know,
Ellen.
okay.
That's what I'm getting
What
at.
they think is a fair amount.
$1 a month is not cutting it.
No, and so then you guys are gonna have to come to what you feel is a fair amount.
Same as the community center, like he just said.
$100.
But I mean,
Before you let that blow out of hand, let's remember this is for kids,
Yeah, well.
and it's no different than the park up here. We don't charge nobody to use that. But in what he's saying, he better realize if you're doing this, in my community center, if somebody punches a hole through a wall, I'm responsible for it because my name's on the contract. Somebody breaks a fence up there or whatever, they're gonna have to pay for that. And that's gonna cost a hell of a lot more than what it is now.
Well, that's what and I think
I
there
don't
needs
think
to
he's
be,
thinking this through.
there needs to be a deposit put down, because if they walk away and they don't clean up after the rodeo,
You know, there's a lot of things we gotta.
there's a
address.
lot of things there, you guys. I really want you to,
I gotta
think about
say it real
this.
quick, was this for the
Crow's
stand?
nest, yeah.
Okay.
For the crow's nest.
Crow's nest, yeah.
And I have no problem with that, none whatsoever. We have a nice facility,
You gotta update it.
we need to update it. The only problem I have is that did not come to the park board meeting, that wasn't approved by the park board and recommended to the councilman, which we would have, because it's common sense. But,
Excuse me?
excuse you,
I
because,
got in on that.
Right.
Now wait a minute, you talk. I brought that to you personally,
Yes,
showed
yes,
it to you, and
yes,
said, I'm
yes.
going to give this to the
Yes.
council.
you did.
There
yes,
is nothing in that book
yes.
or any law that says I have to take that through a park board, Ron.
Because
I did the
that
right
is
thing.
governed-
I went through them,
That is
I went
governed-
through him, and now I'm going through you with that.
Okay.
That is the appropriate portion of order.
No, it's not, because that is governed by the park board. That should have been put on an agenda for the park board for their recommendation, which I agreed with it, Ken, I understand that.
Well, then I would
But
recommend that the park board get their head out and take care of this so we can get something done.
Jock should
Because I
have-
talked to you before, after, and during I was doing
Yeah.
this.
Absolutely, and I agree with it, it should be done. But Jock seeing a way into you behind the rest of ours, it should have went through the park board, so the park board could have made a recommendation here instead of
Well,
Jock.
get your facts in order, Ron. He did not go to me. I went to him with it.
Well,
I
that's your
took it upon
mistake, then.
myself.
That's
I took
your
it upon
mistake.
myself to
That's
do
your
this,
mistake.
and I went to you.
Yeah,
And
and I
talked to
agree with
you.
it,
I
that's
talked
great.
to everybody.
Yeah.
I even talked to Chuck about it,
Yeah.
which is also on the park board.
Yeah.
I did not hold a personal meeting. No, I
So,
didn't bring it
was
before a
you at the
meeting.
meeting?
So I recommend
Was you at the
that
park
we
board
back
meeting when that
up
was
and
brought
we
up?
give this to the damn park
The
board to
meeting,
say
correct.
yes or no.
Yeah, but was that a park board meeting?
Do we have to have another meeting?
Well, what I'm saying is anything that should be done should go through the park board or the personnel board as a recommendation and then come to the council.
Well, then this cowboy deal that we're just talking about has got to go to the park board before we can even discuss it, guys.
What cowboy deal?
The rodeo grounds,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
the lease for the elect,
Yep.
okay.
That's got to go to them first. So they're gonna have a meeting, then we can talk about it.
Are we gonna have committees or are we not?
You said you did. You just told me I had to go through the park board with my deal.
That's what I'm saying, Ken.
Where's the book? Who's on the park board? That is your committee, Ron.
That is the committee. But I think Jock has jumped the ship because you were new on the committee on the council, so he couldn't get what he wanted with the rest of us, so he jumped to you and bypassed the
You're
rest
gonna
of
tell
us.
me nobody's ever come down there and talked to you about what to do, how to do it? Now, they didn't go to the
I
certain
didn't come to
meetings.
the council
You
with,
know darn damn good well they do.
no,
They jump ship all the time.
No.
People are people.
no. We need to stop that, is what I'm saying. And God
I
bless
think
you.
God is on his
I love you, man.
Well, I know it, but I'm just saying, you're not necessarily right.
No,
I'm
I'm not
just
right,
saying
and
you're
I'm
not,
not
because
wrong.
we cannot go have a meeting every day of the month, every
No.
day, because this here, number one comes under some committee, Chuck's on that committee. Oh, number two comes, I will have that on Tuesday, oh, Chuck, you're on that committee. But you can't do that, Ron.
I disagree with you. I really do.
And he told me he couldn't get a meeting with
Yeah, well-
he's what he told me.
Yeah.
He said, I
Doc
tried to
can tell
get
you
a
anything
meeting,
you want.
and I did not happen.
He also said in here and said that there was no rodeo association. Then all of a sudden now they got a checkbook that they want
I don't doubt
electricity
that.
money back.
You know, how many of you ever been involved in this stuff?
Jim,
I mean,
So
it comes and goes all
So
the
the people
time.
that were the head of that association resigned, so they got brand new members,
Yep.
formed a new committee,
elected
had
her-
meetings, elected officers,
Month ago?
and away we go.
And I
It
talked
happens
to,
all
I've
the
talked
time.
to two of them people, and
My
they said
kids
it's
are out
all
of it,
because
now
of
it's
Jock
one done.
Hanson,
It's
so,
not at all.
so who do you believe? I mean,
What's all?
well, Jock just,
That
I don't know,
just know
whatever,
that
whatever.
that-
I'm just saying is we have
Well, you're gonna
a
have to take
park
another
board
route
that rodeo ground is under,
You can put it in there.
whatever,
So-
whatever.
I need a
But,
motion, I need a motion and a second to approve the 1/12 of the total. If you want to approve me reimbursing the rodeo association for 1/12 of the total of all that $400 bill that I have in the bills.
You can't do that.
Like, gotta go through
It's
a park
gotta go
board.
through the park board first.
Okay. So table,
So they paid the whole
So can I-
$400.
If I can, so I'm looking in the city code on the Board of Park Commissioners, right? In this paragraph on organization and duties, subparagraph 2, it shall be the duty of the board to take immediate charge of all parks and recreational facilities belonging to the city. The board shall establish appropriate rules and regulations for the management, use, and operation of the same. All employees of the city doing work in or for the city park shall be under the supervision and direction of the park board. All actions of the board shall be subject to the review and control of the city council. The board shall be responsible for making such reports and performing such other duties as the council may from time to time designate. So that's what, I mean, that's what the duties of the park
That's
board
fine,
are,
that's
are,
fine.
you know, so I guess I don't. I
So
don't-
explain to me in layman's terms, what the hell did you just say?
So I guess I don't, what I'm saying is, I don't necessarily know that just because a piece of business is germane to one subcommittee or the other, it has to necessarily flow through that subcommittee. I guess I tend to agree with Ken's view of it, that if that were the case, we would be doing nothing but having. a
I'm not
subcommittee.
saying I don't disagree with Kim's saying. I disagree with Jock Hanson sitting in there and telling us everything we're gonna do and what he's not gonna do. Then all of a sudden Kim gets on and he runs right to him, and all of a sudden we're supposed to, you know, whatever. That's my opinion, so whatever.
I thought all Ken done was to,
No, Kim didn't do nothing wrong.
I thought all he did was to bring it to us that we've got to repair.
Yep, and I'm
something out
just-
there, and he's got the amount to repair it.
Right, and I agree with that.
And we set the budget
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying protocol was not right handled. Chain of command, whatever you wanna call it.
So,
Jim?
so when Ken first talked to you about that, you should have said, we have to have a park board.
I should have done a lot of things in my past, Jim, but I didn't do them, so
Well,
whatever.
Either way, would you guys please have a park board meeting and review that before next meeting?
you've already voted
It's
on
already
this
finished,
crow's
yeah.
nest.
Crow's
Now you
nest
have to
is
go back
fine.
and-
Crow's
and
nest is
repeal that
fine.
whole thing.
Everything's
Okay, crow's nest
fine.
is one.
water the-
But the other we
Water
haven't
the
voted on.
bridge. Ken and I just wanna argue. I'm not gonna take Ken's word, and he's not gonna take mine.
Okay.
But we're still buddies.
We're gonna have a beer tomorrow.
So on the electricity reimbursement, you want that to go through the park board?
Yes.
I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Make a motion, Ken, and I'll vote for
And a
it.
future lease on it too.
He wants to come and talk to the council about that. That will probably be on the February meeting.
Okay.
Well, since I'm informed that the park board only meets once a year,
So do you want him to come to the park board regarding the lease first, or do you
Yeah.
want?
well, I think he should.
Okay,
Should we get the tree board in there, or?
Yeah, get the tree board in there too, if you want, Mayor.
What do you wanna do, plant a tree somewhere? We planted about 100 of them things, it's
Okay.
actually.
Number 16, approved claims as prepared, did they all look okay?
I've got a question on a couple of them.
okay. Oh,
That one, have them been taken off?
yes, yes.
Okay, I just-
That's the 3 paychecks a month. That's no bill.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And how often does that happen?
I think it's a once a year thing. I questioned the mileage on it because they charged us mileage on
On
both.
both of them.
Okay, so when I questioned him on it, I even sent the email, so I had he says, we divide the mileage between the two invoices for expense purposes. So they come out of, I'm trying to see where they come out of. So it says travel to and from site, so I think they do the first 89 miles on one invoice and then the mileage back on the next invoice, because they charge us 89 miles.
So we charge both directions.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, that was the only two I had questions.
Given, they're out of Given.
Oh. Okay. Everything else look
Other
good
than
on
that, I
there?
make a motion to approve.
Need a second,
Scott.
roll call.
Have I got to sign them?
Nope.
Ain't even seen them.
Jerry,
Was you hoarding them?
Scott,
Yes.
Huh? Was
Chuck.
you hoarding them?
Chuck,
Yes.
Ron,
No.
Ellen,
Chuck hoarded them, I didn't get to see.
Yes.
and Kim.
Yes.
Okay, 17. Monthly reports of the department supervisors. Library, ED, water, sewer, streets, parks, Woodlawn Cemetery, community center, fire, civil defense, and police.
Yep.
Well, like to say the streets on the snow removal is awesome with what Vogel and them are doing. Within a day, they're done, cleaned up. I don't know, it's not costing that much compared to it, it's just, that was a hell of a move you guys made doing that. That was a good deal. You get in, get out, get done.
Yeah, against the city guys out on the streets.
Well, yeah. And less work, less wear and tear on our equipment, and God knows our trucks are
We
needing
weren't capable of all of it.
I was gonna say, it was beyond what we have capability of doing right
it,
now.
especially this year. This is a really bad deal. So anyway,
About the
I
worst
just wanna-
snow we ever
I
had.
just wanna say what a fine job they're doing.
I've had several people comment that they thought that was great, so.
Chuck,
Only had one complaint, so,
I checked on that state of emergency that you
Yeah.
asked me about today.
yes.
So he declared that state of emergency so that they can get, equipment in from other states. So South Dakota right now is sending equipment down to help clear on that eastern side over there. So that's basically what the declaration was made for right now. There has been nothing said, it is possible to release emergency funds to help with this, but there is no talk of being able to apply for those emergency funds as county or as municipality. So right now, it's just basically for the state to get in and get their highways done. So, I'll keep an eye on that. I thought it was odd that I hadn't seen anything from the league that was possible since it affected so many of us. But that's what it is for right now.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? Jimmy, got anything?
No.
I said it before, Shai is back tomorrow. She's gonna work the first couple weeks for part-time, and then work her way back into that full-time status.
Good.
She's only been gone, I think, has it been 8 weeks, seven or 8 weeks, so she's coming back at a good time.
Good. Okay. Now we just need a motion to adjourn.
Before we do that, I'd like to go into executive session, talk about possible litigation